editing is another super helpful tool that helps you to update many files at one time. Now, in this bulk editing folder that I created, I have a bunch of meal receipts for a job that required me to travel, and I specifically left some things missing. I left the payment type, the category, and the reimbursable status missing because I wanted to demonstrate for you guys how you can bulk edit those. So if I wanted to bulk edit all of these files together, I need to first select the files that I want to bulk edit, which I can do by placing a check mark next to all the files that I want to bulk edit. If I want to bulk edit everything within my folder, then I can click this button here, which allows me to select everything that I'm currently viewing on the page. So if I had more than 25 files in this folder, it would only select the first 25 files for me to bulk edit. When I right-click, I can choose bulk edit here, or you can also bulk edit by clicking the ellipses menu down here and choosing bulk edit from here. I prefer the right-click menu. I feel like it's so much easier to use, so I'm going to right-click and choose bulk edit. And now we can see that there are a bunch of receipt-specific file fields that I can go in and I can edit. Now remember, item types affect what you can edit. They affect your filters. As we already seen, it affects the columns that you can view, and it also affects the file fields that you can edit during the bulk editing process. So I have all receipts selected now, but let's say I had a document in here as well. I put a document in this folder here so we can demonstrate this. I'm going to move this document into my bulk editing folder by either dragging and dropping it into my bulk editing folder this way. I could also right-click on the file and choose Move and then select a folder from the drop-down this way. Or I can move my file by opening it and clicking the folder drop-down here and then selecting the folder that I want to move it to from the drop-down list there and clicking Save. So there's, multiple different flavors to how you can move an item around in Neat and how you can do a variety of different functions in Neat. It all just depends on what your specific preference is. Going back to my bulk editing folder, we can now see that I have one document and 11 receipts in this folder. And if I select all of them and I try to bulk edit, now we can see I only have 3 options that I can edit. And that's because I have multiple different item types selected during the bulk editing process. So if you go to bulk edit a bunch of files and you're only seeing these as options, you should go back and check your filters. Check to make sure that you only have one item type selected. That way you can see all of that item's specific file fields and edit those file fields. All right, I'm going to move this document back to that folder by dragging and dropping it there. Now I only have receipts in this folder again. I'm going to select them all. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose bulk edit. And now we're going to add a payment type, which I am going to choose as just Visa. I'm going to add a reimbursable status of yes. I'm going to add a category of meals and entertainment, or meals and restaurant, I apologize. And I'm also going to add a project to this as well. We're going to label this project File Management Webinar and click Next. In the bulk edit summary window, it's letting me know, hey, these are the changes that you're about to make to all of the files that you have selected. So it's going to update my payment type, reimbursable status, category, and project. I'm going to click Next. And we can kind of see Neat in the background working its magic here, applying those changes to my files. And when it's done, we can see that all of my files now have a payment type, a category, and a reimbursable status. And if I add the project column, we can see they also have a project applied to them now as well. Another way that you can use the bulk editing tool is to actually remove categories or categorizations from your files as well. Let's say, for example, I wanted to remove the file management project from all of these files, and I wanted to leave it blank. To do that, I can select all of the files that I want to bulk edit, right-click and choose bulk edit. I'm going to scroll down to the project field, And I'm going to place a check mark in the box next to the project field, but I'm going to leave the text box blank. And by doing so, I'm letting Neat know that I actually want to clear this field. When I click next, my summary window is letting me know, hey, you're about to clear the field for project for all of the files that you have selected, which is exactly what I want to do. So we're going to click next. And now we can see Neat's removing the project from all of the files that I'm bulk editing right now. And when we close, we can see that I no longer have a project for any of these files applied to them. Now, another great use for the bulk editing tool is in the needs review filter. So I'm actually just going to send a whole bunch of files to the needs review filter. I'm doing that by right-clicking on the file that I want to send there and choosing mark as needs review. So I'm just sending all of these here. Now we can see they're still sitting here in my bulk editing folder, but a copy of them is also in my needs review filter. So any changes that I make to my files here will be reflected in that folder as well. But, if you don't have to go through the process of reviewing and categorizing and filing your files away if you don't want to. If you're just interested in using Neat for storage and you aren't interested in updating the data fields or anything like that, or maybe you're using the Neat mobile app and you're updating your categories and your fields as you're sending your files to Neat, then you can skip reviewing your files and bulk mark all of your files as needs review at one time. So to do that, I'm going to select all of my files in my needs review filter. I'm going to right click and choose bulk edit. And now I'm going to choose the status of reviewed. And I'm going to click next and next again. And what it's going to do now is it's going to bulk mark all of the files here in this needs review filter as reviewed. And we can see that just like that, I have very easily cleared out my needs review filter.